Tonight, one team moves one step closer to the World Cup trophy. The other goes home. And somehow, after everything we have already seen in this tournament, France against Morocco may be the most dangerous quarterfinal of them all. Because this is not simply the tournament favorite against the underdog. This is a rematch. This is unfinished business. 4 years ago, France ended Morocco's historic World Cup dream with a 2-0 semi-final victory. Morocco walked away proud, but also knowing they had come painfully close to something no African nation had ever achieved. Now they meet again. Different tournament, different country, different pressure. And this time, Morocco do not want respect. They want revenge. But standing in front of them is probably the most frightening attacking team left in this World Cup. France have played 5 matches. France have won all 5. 14 goals scored, only 2 conceded. And at the center of everything is Kylian Mbappé. 7 goals already in this tournament, 19 World Cup goals in his career. And every time he gets the ball in open space, the entire match can change in seconds. That is the first massive battle tonight. Mbappé against Achraf Hakimi. Former Paris Saint-Germain teammates, close friends. 2 players who know each other extremely well. But tonight, friendship disappears for 90 minutes. Mbappé wants space behind the defense. Hakimi wants to attack forward. And that creates the question that could decide this entire quarterfinal. Does Hakimi attack and risk leaving space for Mbappé? Or does he stay deeper and sacrifice one of Morocco's biggest attacking weapons? Because giving Mbappé 5 yards of open grass is dangerous. Giving him 20 yards is almost a disaster. But Morocco cannot simply sit inside their own penalty area for the entire night. That would be exactly what France want. France have too much quality. Ousmane Dembélé can attack from another side. Michael Olise can find pockets between midfield and defense. Désiré Doué can come into the game and immediately change the speed. And this is what makes France terrifying. You may stop the first player. You may stop the second. But then another one arrives. However, there is one reason Morocco should believe. Paraguay showed them the blueprint. France won that round of 16 match only 1-0. For long periods, France looked uncomfortable. The spaces disappeared. The center became crowded. The game became slow and physical. France had to suffer, and Morocco will have watched every second of that match. Because Morocco are better than Paraguay at turning defense into attack. That is the danger France must understand. Morocco do not need the ball for 5 minutes. Sometimes they need only 5 seconds. 1 recovery, 1 forward pass. Hakimi running. Azzedine Ounahi arriving. 1 mistake from the French midfield, and suddenly the entire stadium can explode. Ounahi may be the player France cannot afford to forget. Against Canada, Morocco were under pressure early. They did not even produce their first attempt until the 28th minute, but they survived. Then Ounahi scored, and scored again. Morocco won 3-0. That is the warning. This team does not need to dominate the statistics. It needs to dominate the decisive moments. But tonight, Morocco have suffered a huge blow. Ismael Saibari is out, and that is not a small absence. He scored in all 3 group stage matches. He played a major role in Morocco's dramatic penalty shootout victory over the Netherlands. He gave this team energy, movement, and another goal threat. Now Morocco must replace him in the biggest match of their tournament. This changes the attack. It may force Morocco to become even more patient. And that brings us to the most important period of the entire game, the first 20 minutes. Morocco cannot allow what happened in the 2022 semifinal to happen again. That night, France scored after only 5 minutes. The entire plan changed immediately. Morocco had to chase. Space is opened. France controlled the situation. Morocco have already been here. They are no longer the beautiful surprise of 2022. They have now reached consecutive World Cup quarterfinals. They survived a brutal shootout against the Netherlands. They eliminated co-host Canada. They have a goalkeeper in Yassine Bounou who understands knockout pressure. They have leaders. They have belief. And their coach Mohamed Wabi has already made the mentality clear. Reaching the quarterfinals is not enough. Morocco are here to try to win the World Cup. That is why France must be careful. The most dangerous underdog is the one that no longer believes it is an underdog. Now let us talk about France's biggest question. Can Morocco control the French midfield long enough to frustrate the attack? Aurélien Tchouameni has been dealing with a fitness issue, and his availability could matter enormously. Because this is not just about passing. This is about stopping Morocco before the counterattack begins. If France lose the ball and their midfield is too open, Hakimi and Morocco can attack the spaces immediately. And that is where this game could become wild. France will probably have more possession. France will probably create more chances. But Morocco may create the more frightening moments. One counterattack, one set piece, one mistake. That could completely change the night. And there is another psychological battle happening. France know they are expected to win. Morocco know almost the entire pressure is on France. If this game is still 0-0 after 60 minutes, everything changes. The French players begin to look at the clock. The crowd becomes nervous. Every Moroccan tackle feels bigger. Every Bounou save becomes louder. And suddenly, the team with all the pressure may not be Morocco. It may be France. That is why I believe the first goal tonight is more important than usual. If France score first, Morocco must open the game. That is dangerous against Mbappe. France can then counterattack into open space, and the match could move away from Morocco very quickly. But if Morocco score first, then we could see absolute chaos. France attacking with more players, Morocco defending deeper, Hakimi waiting for the counterattack, Mbappe demanding the ball again and again. The final 20 minutes could become one of the most dramatic periods of this entire World Cup. So who has the advantage? France. They have more attacking power, more depth, more match winners. And Mbappe is playing like a man who believes this tournament belongs to him. But do not confuse favorite with guaranteed winner. Morocco have spent years destroying that idea. Portugal learned it in 2022. Spain learned it. The Netherlands nearly learned it again in this tournament. Canada learned it in the round of 16. Morocco do not always beat you with beautiful football. Sometimes they simply stay alive longer than you, and in knockout football, that can be enough. Tonight, watch Mbappe against Hakimi. Watch how Morocco defend the space behind their right side. Watch Ounahi when France lose possession. Watch the first 20 minutes, and most importantly, watch what happens if the score is still level late in the game. Because France want control, Morocco want doubt. And the longer Morocco stay alive, the more dangerous this quarterfinal becomes. 4 years ago, France ended the dream. Tonight, Morocco get another chance. France are trying to continue their march toward another World Cup. Morocco are trying to change football history again. Mbappe against Hakimi. Power against resistance. The favorite against the team that refuses to disappear. Tonight, there is no friendly reunion. There is no second chance after the final whistle. There is only one semifinal place. And by the end of this night, one of these teams could produce the biggest statement of the 2026 World Cup.